Hello, my name is Daniel Stapper. Thanks for the opportunity to present to you today. I work with Pact Mines to Market. Pact is a large international NGO. We've been focused on development in the ASM sector for more than 15 years. I'm based in Canada, and it's a pleasure to present to you today. Um, so, drone technology has revolutionized a lot of sectors, and it's doing the same in the mining space. And that's what our concept is focused around. So, unmanned aerial vehicle mounted geomagnetic mapping in support of developing the small-scale gold mining sector. ASGM stands for artisanal and small-scale gold mining, and it's really important to note that small-scale gold mines suffer a lot of the same challenges from artisanal gold mining, and we often group them together. And our solution, our focus is the small-scale gold mines. So to summarize, what are artisanal and small-scale miners really in most need of? Well, I would argue access to gold deposits is among the most fundamental needs that they have. And so on the other side of the formalization challenge, what do government administrations need in order to formalize the sector, to really move it forward and professionalize? Well, I would argue that an answer there could be tools for planning and managing the work, the sector. So our project uniquely leverages a really important technological breakthrough from the gold exploration industry in support of developing the small-scale mining sector. So drones are outfitted with geomagnetic and electromagnetic sensors, and these can now be used to produce maps indicating potential presence of gold for a lot cheaper than they used to be able to do. So our unique partnership is comprised of world-leading firms, both local, based in West Africa, and international, and we're going to deliver the benefits of this technology in support of helping land management and planning for the small-scale gold sector. So let's dig a little bit further into the problems before we talk about our solution. The small-scale gold sector is focused mainly on really small deposits which deplete rather quickly. And actually, a lot of the challenges that face the sector and formalizing the sector stem from this issue. Traditional geoexploration techniques, for example, drilling, like the large-scale mining companies use, are not fit for purpose and are too expensive for the type of deposits that are being exploited in West Africa. The governments, as I said, in many cases want to develop corridors, want to put areas aside for small-scale gold miners, but they seem to lack the tools and expertise to execute these strategies. Of course, here are some photos from last year in Mauritania. They use a lot of mercury. There's a lot of land use and also safety issues that are ubiquitous in the sector that need attention. So for further context, it's worth noting that West Africa is a very active gold exploration region. A huge number, in fact, in this image, if you can see, West Africa is actually shown in yellow. And this is millions of ounces discovered over the past 10 years. It's a really important global area right now. A large number of the deposits that are being quote unquote found there have used artisanal miners to help direct those exploration projects. These junior mining companies, raise money on the stock market using speculation, and their interest is essentially making profit also from flipping these properties once they've drilled and indicated resources. So anyway, one of the big challenges is incentivizing the actors in the space, the investors, the local investors, to formalize. What's in it for them? What's in it for the administration? Well, access to new gold deposits is just about the best kind of incentive that there is, and so that's what our solution focuses around. These local financiers are highly motivated, but they're often ignored by development programming because they're challenging to engage with, and for other reasons. So government agencies are often not trained on the latest geoexploration technologies. And this concept of corridors is popular, but it's difficult to succeed in pulling this off. But our vision for the future of the sector in West Africa is thousands of small mines with access to appropriate technology. And that might mean that rudimentary methods in some stages of the mine workflows is absolutely appropriate. But there's a lot of cost savings to be had in terms of discovering new deposits, and that's what our solution is based on. this solution thinking. What if, we could empower stakeholders in developing management strategies for the sector from the very beginning of the mining life cycle, the exploration stage. And that's where our solution comes in. There's benefit for thousands of miners, but also scalable value for these administrations in setting up these land use management strategies for new ASM areas. So what does the technology look like? The images you see here were produced by our partner in our consortia, PKMB. These images are produced using this sensor-mounted drones technology, geomagnetic maps. I'm not going to get into the technical elements of these maps, but it's very impressive what can be done. The image on the left shows the automated routes that the drone has flown, and this is a survey over several square kilometers that was conducted in essentially 2 days, 2 flight days. The technology has changed quite rapidly. 15 years ago, a lot of this technology was flown on fixed-wing aircraft or helicopter. Drones started to come into play about 5 years ago, and today these multi-copters with more sophisticated programming make the job even more accessible, more rapidly deployable, let's say. So in the context of West Africa, PKMB have already deployed this technology. This is in Sudan, actually, so a geology very similar to what we find in Mauritania. On left, you see the orthomosaic, so the imagery, and on right, you see one of the interpreted data products that results from the geomagnetic mapping, which indicates rock targets which are likely to contain gold. So the beneficiaries of our approach are twofold, especially the investors, including companies like Magma, who are one of the partners in our consortia, who could benefit by developing their own small-scale mines. So local investors, and also the government administrations aiming to set up these corridor systems for managing small-scale gold miners. Let's talk about impact of the solution. Okay, the net impact long-term of supporting the development of these corridors are quite difficult to quantify, actually, because formalization is such a broad topic with so many benefits. But clearly, there's going to be significant benefits for employment, for safety and security of the thousands of miners, and also for the environment, importantly, obviously, to the CXL challenge. So consider in Mauritania, where I had the pleasure of visiting with Magma last year. The mining center of Chami in Western Mauritania is about 50 kilometers upstream from this incredible coastal park, which we had the pleasure of visiting. But they use so much mercury in the mining area. It's directly upstream. And so huge quantities of this mercury are actually contaminating the environment. And the administration, has expressed intent to allocate new areas, different areas to miners. And this is precisely the type of support that our project can provide. Projection. What we have already is a proven technology and excellent relationships in the ground, which are finding the right local partners in West Africa is a challenge. And we're really confident and excited to be working with Magma International. I'll explain a little more about them in a moment. Stage one is where we want to get to with CXL funding. So that's about training the administration in Mauritania and Magma's technical personnel using a training of trainers approach. This will occur as part of, so there's a big cost saving for CXL here, as part of a wider Pact programming on supporting the country's formalization framework. We're currently working to secure other funding where we'll have other objectives in developing the sector in Mauritania. So stage two, as we forecast into the future, would be once the training mission is completed, we'll have maps derived from the mission, which will inform development of new ASGM areas to be used by local mining entities in Mauritania. And then in the future, we can envision many companies having access to these new mining areas, and the Magma being able to deploy this training and service technology to numerous commercial and non-commercial clients. The value proposition is thus: we're a really unique group of passionate, impact-driven professionals with proven track records. Pact, we're a global leader in mines to market solutions. So thinking about what does the market really need and how can it be a driver for change. PKMB are leading experts in geophysical geoexploration technology, extensive global experience. They've been working for these, junior mining companies to a large extent, and really are passionate about the need to ensure that benefits from the mining sector are also being shared with those less advantaged. So that's where this exciting partnership comes into play. And Magma are a really impressive firm based in Mauritania, geotechnical services company, and Pact has been developing a relationship with them for 2 years now. A really strong vision for training and empowering the small-scale gold mining workforce in Mauritania. So the business model to undertake our project is a knowledge transfer, essentially, from PKMB and supported by Pact to Magma and the administration in Mauritania, and from there out to many more actors in the space. Here is an image in Nouakchott, the capital of Mauritania, where Magma already has a training facility. They're leaders actually in technical training in West Africa for a variety of sectors. So we're really excited about their interest and intent on being a technical leader in the region. In terms of risk analysis, Magma is going to lead because of their strong base in Mauritania. They're going to lead in terms of the team's risk analysis and mitigation planning for security on the ground. Mauritania has a much lower risk profile in relation to insecurity and related challenges relative to many of the neighboring countries in West Africa. That's another good reason to focus here in Mauritania. Support, confidence, and trust in the mining community, or rather not having this as a risk, is, we think, the greatest risk. And another important risk we're considering is that of theft or corruptible access to this technology. This technology has the potential to really have a really, really large value. And so we're going to consider and mitigate this risk in several ways, from right from the very beginning of initial dialogue with key stakeholders, focused on transparency and accountability. So for next steps, what are we looking for? We're seeking $75,000 to mobilize a training mission focused on the technology to be delivered to key stakeholders in Mauritania. This is going to cover the costs of transport and import of the equipment into Mauritania and deploying a training mission, which will be used to capacitate Magma personnel and also personnel of the administration. The training mission is going to include classroom sessions on theory, data analysis, and interpretation. And approximately the cost allocation between the three partners, who I'll explain in a moment, will be approximately $25,000 each. The training mission will occur in 2021. And the outcomes include not only the data products, but also reporting on taking the corridor strategy forwards using this technology. So here is a quick view of our team. There's me on the left. Khalifa is the CEO of Magma. He's shown in the middle there. And our partners from PKMB are shown on the right. It's a real pleasure to have the opportunity to present this for you. And we're looking forward to a positive response. Thanks very much.